Hello, my name is Elias Logan, and I am writing a letter to Ron Paul because I did not have a chance to give him a silver Franklin $50, which consists of 90% silver and 10% copper or other alloy. It features the Liberty Bell. Very interesting for the Revolution. To my understanding, this one is signed by David Ray Griffith. He's the author of The Creature from Jekyll Island. Very interesting. I got a chance to speak to him. Very good man. So that brings me back to this point. I wrote a letter to Ron Paul telling him I'm writing to first off thank you for all the great work you have done waking people up to the truth. I would further like to inquire if you support the minting of U.S. silver coins as you keep propagating the gold standard. If they dare to come out in the open field and defend the gold standard as a good thing, we shall fight them to the uttermost, having behind us the producing masses of the nation of the world, having behind us the commercial interests and the laboring interests and all the toiling masses. We shall answer their demands for a gold standard by saying to them, you shall not press down upon the brow of labor this crown of thorns. You shall not crucify mankind upon a cross of gold. William Jennings Bryan on July 9, 1896 at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. I'm also sending you a Franklin $50, which is already in this envelope. It's packaged up. I think you may enjoy it as it has true value. Do you believe we should have a mixed gold and silver standard, or do you believe that gold is the only solution? Do you believe in the constitutional mandate that no state shall make anything but gold and silver as payment of debts? Speaking of the gold standard, is there any gold left in Fort Knox? I have heard there was no audit done there since the 1950s. Are you aware of JFK's Executive Order 11,110? Executive Order 11,110 gave the U.S. the ability to create its own money backed by silver. Is there a way to petition the Mint to issue more of the U.S. notes backed by silver? According to the information from the Library of the Comptroller of the Currency, the Executive Order 11,110 remains in effect today. Although successive administrations, beginning with President Lyndon Johnson, apparently have simply ignored it and instead returned to the practice of paying interest on Federal Reserve notes. Today we continue to use Federal Reserve notes, and the deficit is an all-time high. So that is the letter I wrote him. And since I deal with currency all the time, I wrote a little article about this and included it in my certificate of authenticity, which I provide with all my coins. This Franklin Mint uncirculated condition silver $50 weighs 12.5 grams, is 30 millimeters, and this coin is 90% silver and 10% copper. Beautiful collected piece in the true type of constitutional currency. With rampant inflation, with rampant inflation we are faced with every day that destroys our buying power and discourages saving. This coin illustrates the true constitutional currency. Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution, no state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin as tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Congress first exercised its constitutional mandate to coin silver and gold money in 1792 because the founders had expressly prohibited the printing of money. Read the Federalist Papers and James Madison's notes on the Constitutional Convention. At the time, Congress defined dollar to be at least 371.25 grains of pure silver. The first dollars were not just silver colored. They contained 90% real silver and metal because Americans at the time demanded that the face value of their coin be equal or nearly equal to the intrinsic value of the metal contained in the coins. Therefore, the medium of exchange for the first 72 years of America's history was only silver and gold coin, not paper currency. In 1913, Congress fraudulently passed the Federal Reserve Act, which put the control of the money in the hands of the international bankers, who run the privately owned corporation known as the Federal Reserve. From the point forward, Federal Reserve dollar began declining in value until today is worth about 4 cents, actually less, compared to the value of the real silver dollar in 1913. It is interesting to note that today the privately owned Federal Reserve Bank only pays about 4 cents for each bill that the United States Treasury prints. The Morgan dollar is a silver K. The Franklin half dollar is a coin of the United States minted from 1948 to 1963. The coin pictured Benjamin Franklin on the obverse and the Liberty Bell on the reverse. A small eagle to the right of the bell was necessitated by law. Ironically, Franklin himself had opposed the selection of the eagle as the U.S. national symbol, preferring the turkey as a more noble bird. A bill rushed forward through Congress after the assassination of John F. Kennedy caused the Franklin half to be replaced by the Kennedy half dollar in February 1964, 9 years before the design would otherwise be eligible for a change. Very interesting. All of a sudden, 1964 was the last Kennedy half dollar that was made with silver. So here we have this more information. Approximately 510 million Franklin halves were minted during the period of 1948 to 1963. Coins without mint mark were minted in Philadelphia, whereas those with a D were minted in Denver and with an S in San Francisco. The mint mark on specimens having 1 is visible on the reverse side centered above the bell yoke. Engraver John R. Sinnock's initials appear at Franklin's shoulder on the reverse. Sinnock's initials inadvertently reflected the tensions of the times. Sinnock had also designed the Roosevelt dime released 2 years earlier, placing his initials JS on the reverse. In the tense climate of the Cold War, a rumor spread that the initials stood for Joseph Stalin, replaced thereby Soviet agent in the mint. Perhaps to avoid further controversy, Sinnock used his full initials JRS on the half. Stalin's middle name was Vissarionovich. Large quantities of Franklin half dollar were melted as silver bullion shortly after 1964. Interesting. When the intrinsic value exceeded the face value of the U.S. silver coinage. Despite these losses, Franklin halves in gently circulated condition remain quite affordable even today, and more common days do not command more than 25% premium over bullion. As this notation is September, well-struck and circulated pieces showing full bell lines in the Liberty Bell design on the coin's reverse command substantial premium. The one notable error in the series of Franklin halves is the Bugs Bunny error, but that's besides the point. Here we look at the minting figures. I would actually like to point out to the last minting figures that were made before this was commissioned. You see? We have 1962, 12 million Franklin halves minted at the Philadelphia Mint. And then the next year, oh, we have more than double, 25.239. Wow! That is amazing. Then at the Denver Mint, we'll see in the last year, before 1962, is 35 million. And then 67. So see, by this, you could actually tell that there was enormous debts being paid off. And these things were minted in order to get us out of debt. But you see, the Federal Reserve Bank would not allow us to have silver money because it would contain its value. In terms of gold and silver, gas and all this other stuff does not cost any more. So, we've been lied to, and I'm asking this question of Ron Paul. Hopefully he answers, and I'll put it up on YouTube. I would not mind. I will also submit this question directly to him via YouTube. So, Let's talk about, change. Let's talk about real change, monetary change. We need a standard of money that maintains value over time. So thank you very much, and let U.S. money be made again, debt-free, so that the public does not have to be enslaved by their debts. So thank you very much. My name is Elias Lobin, and I wrote to Congressman Ron Paul. Thank you very much, Ron Paul, for taking the time to view this. Have a good day, and I hope you make all the changes possible.